So what I've done is I've mixed some pale orange and some pale yellow, and then I have white with translucent. Basically you get it to the shade that you want the cake, and after you have it at the shade you want the cake, you mix it with about 3/4 translucent. I roll it out flat, and I use a 1-inch round cookie cutter. That's enough to get me 6 slices of cake. And then I very carefully stack them. So for my candy corn, yellow is on the bottom, orange is in the middle. I'm using 3 layers of orange, 2 layers of white, 2 layers of yellow. This is on the second thickest setting on my pasta roller, meaning the second from the thickest. So I roll it through the thickest setting, then I feed it back through on the next thickest setting. So I just twist them in my hands to get it a nice solid shape. Then I conditioned just plain white, ran it through the pasta roller. I'll take 2 cuts. Now this one is on the 3rd setting of the pasta roller, so it's just 1 smaller. Move that for a second here. Oops. So I place 1 on top. This is for the top of the cake. 1 on bottom. And then I take my white I'm getting messed up by the wood part of my table. There we go. Okay, once you have 2 flat edges, place your cake on the edge of your white clay. Trim it along the side of the top. And then I roll it. And this would end up being the little fondant. So I'm smoothing the seam out. I bring the top seam in. And then I start using my thumb to smooth the seam and try to get the seam the size of the cake that I want. I press it flat. You can make it taller or shorter by rolling it. Get some Sculpey translucent liquid, and I am going to make it all tacky and dip it in my fine clear glitter. Here's my fine clear glitter here. So I roll it around in my hands, getting it nice and tacky. Try to make sure we get all the little spots on it. Then I dump it in my glitter. And I pour some glitter over it. And then polymer clay. So from here, you would want it to rest for about an hour, at least. Otherwise it will get too squishy on you. Here's our finished slice, so you get to see it. So there's a tiny little candy corn that sparkles. and I'll have pictures of it under normal lighting since this lighting tends to be bright. So from here, you could either cut a triangular piece of the clay out if you wanted a scene, like a miniature. If you don't, you try to center yourself exactly over the center of your cake and press down. Now I'd suggest doing this, like I said, at least a good hour. After you've formed it, this might squish down again. This might squish down because I'm doing immediately. But each half can be made into thirds. So that will give you 6 slices of cake. So here we go. Now texturing the cake. So texturing is probably the best thing that there is about the tutorials on cake. So basically, you go in tiny, tiny, tiny circles, lifting and teasing. And just go over and over and over. You want to try to be light about it and not heavy-handed. If you wait for an hour, at least, it should be a little bit stiffer, so it will, the cake texture will turn out better. If you do it right away, it's not going to turn out as well. I just wanted to show you how I do it. And you bake it. So once the cake is textured on both sides, you bake it. Now, I did a tiny candy corn bottle charm where I stacked 3 layers of color. I stacked yellow, orange, and white, and made little candy corn strips. So to make 2 little candy corns for, and this is unbaked. So basically, what I do with these suckers, just in case you're not seeing it very well, is I create little triangular pieces of candy corn by cutting little triangles out. Since it's such a little cake, we didn't want to overwhelm it. Okay, so here we go for the decorating. I have some TLS that's been sitting out for a little while. I'll put these little guys there. So remember, this slice of cake is baked. And what I'm going to do is take the TLS that's been sitting out for just a little while, just to thicken up a bit, and I'm painting it on the back. So I paint a little ridge, almost like a little smile line, and then I paint some drops. Thought drops would look nice with Halloween. So once you have 3 drops, or how many ever you like, you can take a little bit of a Halloween colored glitter and tap it on. I'm going to try to tap it on behind the TLS, the translucent liquid Sculpey, and then make sure to get it on that top area. And then if you actually blow on it, it will blow away any of the extra glitter that's clinging onto the clear glitter. Okay, so I blowed it away, blew it away. Nice grammar there. And then what I'm going to do to finish is I take the little tiny candy corns that I cut out, and I'm going to put them on the cake with a little bit of the translucent liquid Sculpey. So I get my fingers tacky, and I'm coating them in that translucent liquid Sculpey, trying to get the edges and the bottom. and sometimes it's kind of hard to get them onto the cake. I'm trying to pick it up with a safety pin. It wants to stick to your finger because of the TLS. And then try to get it nice and stuck on the top. Then we'll place the other one. So I have my fingers all nice and tacky. Toss it around in my fingers. And this one I will put right on that side. And it's nice to tap it on with your finger. But so we dip it in the glitter again. And there we go. Now it's ready to bake.